Ho Adventures. My name is Jenna, and I am excited to get back into our homeschooling after a couple of weeks off for the holiday. We here are in Texas, and we are a family of 4 that homeschools. We have 2 boys, ages 10 and 7, and we have homeschooled from the beginning. So ever since my oldest was in pre-K and kindergarten, we really officially started, but we've always done some sort of education at home. I have a background in speech language pathology, and I've worked in public schools and in home health settings. And when it came time to figure out what we wanted to do for education for our children, both my husband and I agreed that homeschooling would be great to try it out. My oldest really had a lot of anxiety as a child, as a young kiddo. And so we could definitely tell that a traditional public school experience probably wasn't going to be a place where he could thrive. And so once we started with him 3 years later, when our youngest came along, we just knew that homeschooling would probably be what we ended up doing for him as well. And so we've just continued on, and I'm hoping here to share some of the things that we have experienced, some of the problems we might have come across or that we still come across, and ways that we might be able to solve those, in case somebody out there is interested in homeschooling, or maybe they currently homeschool and have situations that are similar. After a long holiday, we are going to do at least 3 things that I have noticed has really helped to have an easier transition into it. Okay, so the first thing that we definitely will do is take it slow and ease into a full-on schedule. We have typically a pretty busy day, but we really don't start getting down to schoolwork until about 9 o'clock. And I really do try to make it 9 o'clock is when we are starting our school day. The kids tend to wake up on their own. I don't really like them having to wake up at a certain alarm clock time. They tend to rise anywhere between 6:30 to 7:30, but sometimes they sleep in if their bodies need more sleep, and that's the beauty of homeschool. You have that flexibility. So we slowly ease into schooling. We don't start until about 9 o'clock anyway, but when we're getting back into the holiday, like after the holidays, we really do a very light first week back. It's not a heavy hitter. It's not a we're doing every subject and we're picking up right where we left off, just because that creates, in my 5-year history of learning lessons, that just creates a lot of struggle and frustration and overwhelming feeling of like, this is just so much. And if you think about it, I mean, after a vacation for an adult, when they come back to work, it's a lot to just like hit it hard and get right back into it and like get into the grind again. So it can just feel very jarring. And that's when a lot of times we have meltdowns. I see meltdowns in my kids about it's just too much, like it's a system overload. So in order for us to have a good feeling about learning and school, we definitely like to ease into it. A lot of the times we will just review what we were working on prior to the break. A lot of times, like for example, my oldest is doing comparing fractions, where he is cross multiplying and comparing, and so there's a lot of like kind of like higher level math skills that are involved. So in order for us, before we get right back into that, I'll just have him review multiplication facts, division facts, do some fast facts. We do multiplication wrap-ups or division wrap-ups, just to get back into the practice of like getting our brain kind of getting back on track. So we definitely kind of take it down a couple of notches in terms of difficulty. We don't just go straight into it and, ease into it. Nice, slow and steady makes everybody happy. So that is definitely something that I have learned we do for success. Another thing that we will prioritize is having some fun. After we've had 2 weeks of a lot of fun, after we've had a month of, we've done so many Christmas activities, it's just kind of like a bummer to get back to work for everybody, right? Adults too. So I will try to lead off with something in the morning that's fun. My kiddos love to do something on YouTube that we call brain breaks. And if you just Google something on YouTube that's like a brain break, movement, a lot of times it's just good for them to get their energy out. So they might have to they follow instructions on YouTube, and it might be, if your favorite breakfast is donuts, you do 10 jumping jacks. Or if your favorite breakfast is pancakes, you do sit-ups. So it's like a you choose video, or some sort of like, activity, physical activity, maybe like a little warm-up PE activity. And it just kind of gets them going. I think especially for boys that tend to be high energy, movement is directly related to concentration. So if they can get some energy out, if they can get their body moving, get some blood flowing, our brain will start working a little better. So we'll probably start with a brain break or just some sort of movement, or sometimes we even like to do like a freeze tag, and I'll get involved with it, and it's fun. The boys love when we play tag in the morning, when they know I'm not as fast as they are. And so sometimes they'll really try to like make sure they tag me, and it's always really fun when I'm the tagger too. So sometimes we just do a little bit of movement. Sometimes it's an educational game. We have so many fun games that we like to play. And I will definitely try to bring you guys along to show you what some of those games are. And they're very quick. A lot of them are cooperative. They're not a lot of competitive games, just because boys tend to be super competitive anyway. And I just don't like to start the day with hard feelings when we are dealing with, losing or whatever. So a lot of the times they're cooperative games. They're fast games, maybe max 20 minutes. But it's just fun. Most of them have educational components to them. And so you're feeling like you're getting your brain working, and we're starting off on a positive foot. And so, yeah, hopefully we bring you along, and I'll show you kind of what our first day back is going to be like. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's not so pretty. Sometimes we have all systems operating and we're all moving in the same direction, and sometimes somebody doesn't get great sleep and they're grumpy, and sometimes that's me. But we just start and we take it slow. So yeah, join us and come along on our journey on getting back into homeschooling after a long fun break. Okay, so here we are starting off the morning with a little bit of love from Rowdy, and then I said hello to Lily. The boys decided to sleep until about 8:30 this morning, so I actually got a cup of coffee. I got myself ready for the day. Makeup and hair don't always happen, but today they did. Here we are playing one of our favorite games once the boys woke up. This is called Race to the Treasure. It's by Mindware, and it is one of our favorite cooperative games to play. It's kind of a race against collecting ogres. You have to find the path to the treasure, collect 3 keys. It's really fun. That was a quick game, so we ended up going on to Sequence for Kids. Another one of our favorites. This one isn't cooperative, but it's really fun and pretty quick. You have to just get 4 animals in a row, and whoever gets to do that first wins. This time around, I was the winner, which was really fun, but I get beaten quite a lot. So this one is great because our youngest, Elliot, who's 7, can play without any help. Okay, so now we are getting into it. Okay, so usually the first thing in the morning we do is one of our harder subjects. So for Owen, that's just doing fast facts, just getting back into it. He also has his division wrap-ups there. And I'm working with Elliot on just reviewing our ELA, our phonics, our sounds. He was working on reviewing vowel sounds, and then we're getting into our workbook for the day for ELA. And then after that, we are moving right along to our next subject, which is going to be our geography, and we are doing a Draw the USA curriculum, which is great. It's very short, doesn't take a long time, and we're actually transitioning right into our social studies, which is the beginning of the Revolutionary War, which is identifying the 13 original colonies. So that really goes hand in hand, and it's not a whole lot of like very difficult brain work, which is lovely for our first day. Okay, so one thing we didn't record was some of the other activities that we did during the day. So Owen was able to complete some handwriting for cursive. Elliot did some math work. We have a Montessori curriculum I'd be happy to share with you guys as well. And this was done after lunch. So this kind of brought us all the way up to 11 o'clock. We took a break. We all kind of ate. The kiddos had a little bit of a time to relax a little bit, and then we, right around 1:30, got back into just finishing up the rest of our schooling. And then it was pretty much done, so not too bad. Hopefully, you enjoyed our video and our first adventure as Rayho Adventures. This is a new YouTube channel that we're trying out because we feel at this point, at over 5 years of homeschooling, we're getting to the point where we do have some things to share that I think could be helpful for any family that either homeschools or is thinking about homeschooling. And I, being a secular homeschooler in Texas, always seek out other secular homeschoolers who have similar experiences. Sometimes other people have great ideas that work for them, and I always appreciate sharing that information because it's a community. And now, after post-COVID years, it's become a lot easier to find resources, but for a long time it felt very isolating and very much like we were alone in a big world of people who were homeschooling, had community, had it figured out, had curriculum to choose from. And so I'm really excited that I get to see more and more creators make secular homeschool material. And so I would just like to add our little piece of our world to that, to maybe be a resource for someone else. There's so much out there and everyone does it differently. And so homeschooling looks differently for everyone. And so I think that we are just at a place where we feel a little bit more confident about some of the problems that we have and how we solve them. So I hope you find this fun and educational and maybe take something away from it. If you do, I would love for you to hit subscribe or click the bell for notifications when we post. That would be fun to kind of see any kind of comments that you have or questions that you have. We would just love to bring you along with us. So until next time, my name is Jenna, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.